participating in the calls. You've heard us talk a lot about tracking your numbers, the accountability calls, why that's important. Because at the end of the day, it's about tracking your dials, your contacts, your appointments, your lead investment. That allows us to help you real time if you're struggling, or like I talked about in the beginning, if you're looking at your next promotion or two up levels, you know what that looks like and maybe where the things you're not doing, right? It's a quick course correction. Tracking your numbers is about controlling the controllables. That's it. Because the things you can control are the leads you invest in, the books you read, keeping your mindset right, and the dials you make. That's really in our business what you can control. And the better you get at really focusing in on those things, the results, people showing up to the appointment, being able to help them out with coverage, getting the coverage approved. I mean, those are, kind of steps in the journey, which is for another call, but it lets you know where you need to focus, which in the beginning, you fall in love with the activity. If you're going to get emotional about anything here, get emotional about the activity. There's a reason that one of the core values is that massive action, constant correction. That's what that means. Just that because your skill set is going to evolve as a function of that. So I want to share, this is in the summit training. So if you're brand new, you might have just, gone over this, but again, worth repeating. It's a great reminder for us all. And the other piece is it allows us to have a really zoomed out view of where maybe you need some tweaks. Okay. So I'll play the video, and this might be new info for you because it really explains the value of why we track our numbers. So let me. Can you guys hear it and everything, Tommy? We good? Can you hear it?
Hi, I'm Ian Graham, and I'd
No?
like to welcome you to.
Yeah, we got it now.
I'm really pumped to learn and grow with you guys today. The overall objective of this course is for you to be able to understand how to use the Counting What Counts Google Sheet, and as a result, you'll be able to identify your areas of opportunity for improvement on a basic level. The overall outcome of this course is understanding how to use the Counting What Counts Google Sheet to track your activity and metrics, resulting in your intentional progression through the symmetry learning curve. In order to introduce this tool, I want you to think back in time to your high school days. You feel the cool, crisp air against your skin, and you can start to feel the dew from the grass seeping through the soles of your black Adidas Sambas. Okay, not that detailed. Just kidding with you. I do want you to remember back to when your PE teacher walked you out to that high school track around the football field. And then he or she let you know, we're going to complete the mile today. There were 4 laps to that mile, right? Well, regardless of the speed in which you moved around that track, wouldn't you agree that if you continued moving in the right direction, you would eventually finish that mile? Thanks for agreeing with me. Now, I want you to instill the same belief in yourself right now, right this very minute, that you will also get through the symmetry learning curve. How long it takes, now that's up to you. The activity report, which you've already learned about, covers lap 1 of the learning curve. We are now going to introduce a tool called the Counting What Counts Google Sheet, and this is going to help you complete the other 3 laps of the learning curve. This Google Sheet is going to eliminate any guesswork around why you may or may not be getting the results that you are looking for. Instead of you sitting down with your mentor and wondering, I don't know what's going on wrong, you're going to be able to use the data and the metrics in the sheet in order to really hone in and dissect and pinpoint the exact skill that needs to be improved in order to get the result you're looking for to achieve your goals. Now let's explain the Counting What Counts Google Sheet row by row here. You'll see in the image where on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5, and a month total across the top, Down column A, we have a lead level, for instance, A1, A2, A3. We have leads received. That's how many leads were invested in each week. The amount of contacts you made. This is a number that will be pulled from your symmetry activity report. The lead resolution percentage, your total dials, which will also be a number pulled from the activity report, your hours spent dialing, your dials per hour, your appointments booked, which will also be pulled from the symmetry activity report, your appointments set, your sit ratio percentage, your apps written, your close ratio percentage, the APV you submitted for that week, and the APV that was placed, along with the net placed ratio. We'll teach you in the upcoming videos about the 4 metrics and those skills that are associated with those metrics that make up the symmetry learning curve, as well as how to run through the learning curve rather than crawl. Remember when I said how long it takes is totally up to you? Well, success is a choice, and you can choose to be successful sooner rather than later. We're going to come back to that one soon. Now let's jump down to the business journal. You see blocks for victories, learning opportunities, as well as takeaways from trainings. According to a research study by the Harvard Business Review, if you spend just 15 minutes at the end of each day to reflect, you can actually get up to a 23% boost in your performance the following day. Are you on board for a 23% boost? Good, me too. I'm so glad we're always on the same page. You're going to be able to use the Counting What Counts Google Sheet as a tool to reflect. Now, I want you to go ahead, hit pause on this video, and right now, block off 15 minutes into your calendar on your phone each night by creating an event in your phone calendar called Reflection, and I want you to set the event to repeat daily. Now, I know not all of you did it, so I welcome back those of you who did, but if you were one of the few percent who didn't actually take out your phone, hit pause. I hope I'm not talking to you, but I could be. Hit pause, take out your phone, and block off Reflection, a 15-minute block every night into your phone calendar. All right, welcome back. Hopefully 100% of you now have blocked that off in your calendars. I am so glad to hear that you have chosen to boost your performance by 23% daily. Now let's explain our net place tracker. You'll see on the right side of the Counting What Counts Google Sheet, there's an area for client name. There's another column for carrier, a column for APV, and a column for decision. What goes under decision is either approved, pending, or declined. And we're going to see an example of how to use this net place tracker in our next video. All right, time for you to get this tool into your hands. We are about to hit rush hour traffic with a bunch of starts and stops with pauses in the video to make sure that you download this correctly and are able to figure it out. But I promise you, it will be much less painful than sitting bumper to bumper on the interstate. In just a few short minutes, when you have your own personalized Google Sheet set up, you're going to be off to the races. So go ahead and hit pause, download this PDF, and click on the embedded link to open up the Counting What Counts Master Copy Google Sheet. Hit play again once you have the Google Sheet downloaded. All right, congrats. You've completed step 1. What I want you to do now is click on File and then choose Make a Copy. You'll keep the words Counting What Counts there, but change Master Copy over to your name. Now, once you have your new personalized Google Sheet, click the green Share button, add your mentor's email in there, and click Send. If you are working with more than one mentor, go ahead and add all of their emails before you hit Send. Now right-click on the tab at the bottom that says Master Copy, Do Not Edit. Choose Duplicate from the list of options. A copy of Master Copy, Do Not Edit, will now show up as a second tab in your Google Sheet at the bottom. Right-click on this Copy tab and choose Rename. Type in the current month, for instance, February 2022. You can now repeat this process to make additional tabs for additional months. For instance, March, April, etc. Just make sure to follow directions and always leave the master copy alone where it says that do not edit. Follow those directions so that you always have a fresh blank sheet from which to make a copy.
So guys, I wanted to just give us a big overview because if you're anything like me, and I know some people are, some people, are really spreadsheet people. When I first saw this document, like my head wanted to fall off. I'm like, oh no, 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 too many numbers. This is too much. But what I want you to focus in on is that top half, and we can break that down moving forward. Things like, duplicating this, and I'm like, nope, I just shut down. But the point is to track your dials. We know that the DCAs, right? Dials, contacts, activity, but there's other metrics in there. Who here knows, and you can raise your hand and unmute, who here knows what the lead resolution, first of all, what it is and what it should be to get results? What's lead resolution means, right? You talk to some Evel, what's the percentage?
I believe it's 80% resolution
That's right. And why is that important?
because it doesn't matter if it's a yes or a no, but if you're not talking to them, you don't know if it's a yes or a no.
Exactly right. Perfect, Dibble. Perfect. I didn't necessarily focus on that in the beginning. I was investing in leads every week, just like Dave said I had to. That this is the system. Okay, okay. I wasn't calling enough times and enough different times of day to at least talk to eight out of the 10 of those leads at 80%. Because we know if you're getting a resolution, good, bad, or ugly, I say, on those, you'll be able to set the appointments. Because remember, in the stack of leads, Veronica's heard me say this a bunch of times. First of all, you're just looking for the face cards. If you think of your stack of leads like a deck of cards, you're just looking for the face cards. That's all you're doing. That changes your posture, right? Because we're not looking to make people interested in this. They sent the form back at some point. We're just looking for the interested people. So in that, if you can talk to 80% of your leads that you invested in, you're going to know, because don't be afraid of the no's. I like it when I hop on and I get, maybe 5 no's in a row, because guess what? I know the yeses, meaning the appointments, are coming. But that's a mindset thing. And Paige, on the contrary, it gave me a total body rush. That's hilarious. And that's because she helped create the spreadsheet. But Paige, what would you say is the biggest, for anybody new, right? The biggest benefit of tracking your numbers? There's many, but in your mind.
It keeps you sane. It keeps you sane because for me, I could see my averages. And that's one thing I recommend. I know it's on there, but tracking your 6 week rolling average, because the longer you're here, the more you'll realize we have a cyclical process here. Like you'll have a couple really average weeks, pretty good. One killer week where you're like everything you touch turns to gold. And then one week where you're like, did I forget everything that I'm doing? What is happening? How come I don't know what I'm doing anymore? How come no one's saying yes to me? Why am I getting all these weird answers or weird health situations? That's just how it goes. So if you're looking at this and you're tracking and you're seeing kind of this happen, it helps you realize which week you're in. And as long as your 6 week average is where you want it to be, you're okay. It's all right. It's not panic time. So for me, that really, really helped. Just knowing that, okay, this isn't my best week, but I'm still tracking at the average that I want to be at on the 6 week scale. And that's what matters.
Yep. I love it. And then we'll go to Tanya, but you just reminded me of a funny text one time. And you had been here, and knew how to do this. And then you texted me, you go, I just sat with 12 people in a row and wrote nothing. Did I forget how to do this? And I remember laughing. I'm like, look at are you just, and I think the next week you wrote like 18 grand or something absurd, but it was just, that was your down week. That's all, you know?
Mm.
And if you know that you're doing all the things that week and the numbers just aren't, that's all it is. It is cyclical, no doubt about it. So I love that. Tommy, you had your hand up. Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Okay.
I think, what you guys are talking about with the numbers, and one of the most important things is it takes the emotion out of the conversations with your mentor. It's okay, did you dial enough? Yep or no, right? It's a yes or no. It's kind of that point counterpoint. You look at the numbers and it's like there's an action item related to each one of those, whether you're 0 for 12 as Paige was and came back firing for 18 grand. I mean, that stuff happens, and it's it gives you a direction for the conversation, and it gives you a truth and a reality of what you need to do next to
Yep.
stay profitable.
Yep. Because it does, it absolutely, Tom, keeps the emotion out of it. I mean, Sarah Reineke, Jamie Susie, they're direct to Jacob Pogue, and they'll tell you in the beginning, those conversations with Jacob was always, it's either one of the four keys to a successful week or the four cornerstones. I mean, and the best part is you can fix it. But if you're not tracking it, you don't even know where you are, right? So, and then it becomes like you said, Tom, well, I did that or I did that, and that doesn't help anybody, right? So just tracking your numbers, run it like a business, and see where you are week over week, and just know that if you're doing all the right things, then like what I put on the team string when Rafa helped that family, either the numbers owe you or you owe the numbers. And he was doing all the things, and I knew it was coming, right? And so that's the whole goal of this, guys. And we'll see some different variations of the counting what counts, but the concept, the base, the fundamentals are the same. You need to track what you're doing, because that's the roadmap. Symmetry has that roadmap of, if you do this and this, here's what you can expect to make. And if you're not tracking your own journey on that roadmap, then you're just kind of, you're just wandering about in the desert, and you might die of thirst, being dehydrated. So I hope that helped, guys. If you don't know what the document is, where to find it, how to use it, any of that, please text, one of us, your upline, your mentor, so that we can get you on that right path. Because those are the numbers that when we look at that accountability tracker in the Tuesday, Thursday call, be very easy. Numbers don't lie. And so if we can keep those on, just a very black and white path of the numbers, then all the skills will come from there. So hopefully that helped, guys. Everybody have a spectacular Monday. And as always, reach out if you need help. Take care, guys.